Who the heck is Nightwing? Why is he so bad at being a scarecrow? Those critters are just right on top of you, boy. You know, how did he get all chained up here? How? That was terrible. That was a terrible Milwaukee accent, but I feel like I started strong. But I will say that people from Milwaukee should probably limit the amount of time that they speak. Milwaukee isn't a city, it's a suburb of Chicago. Shots fired. So let's go ahead and get in on this. I gotta tell you, I'm loving this arc. I think it's probably the best Nightwing arc I've ever read, but again, the sample size, pretty small. So let's just go ahead and get into this. I'm gonna skip the first page, but it just has one of the Nightwings who's not super sold on being a Nightwing. You ask me to be a Nightwing, I'll do it. All you have to do to be a Nightwing is to have daddy issues or dead parents and then put on some spandex. Boom! You're done. You're a Nightwing. I've knighted you a Nightwing. There you go. Just get some fucking Under Armour and just take an acrobatics class. Do those exist? I don't know, but he's a little bit unsure about being it because he's a cop. And you know how cops feel about vigilantes. It's like 50-50 whether they like him or not. So we see him here. They're at the Langley, point shooting range. And I gotta tell you, first off, feel like, now I don't remember if they say that this is like an abandoned shooting range or something. I just feel like a shooting range in Bloodhaven, it should be packed, right? Because look, if I'm a gangster, I'm gonna make sure I'm hitting my targets. I don't want to be wasting bullets. I want my murder numbers to be high and my accuracy to be high, and you know, the amount of bullets, like, I want to keep that low. I'm looking to be a sharpshooter. I don't know why more gangs don't just become snipers. Like, I get it, drive-bys, they're fun. I mean, it's like you're out with your homies, you just pop a couple shots, doesn't matter if someone gets murdered. No. I am going to hit my marks. I'm going to murder my rivals. So I guess it's just not very popular or something, but I just feel like you shouldn't have your Pepe Sylvia board out in the open here, and you definitely shouldn't be doing this, because like, if you're a regular here and you just slip on this little teeny mask here, I'm going to be able to recognize you. That's the thing that kills me the most about superheroes. Like, when you got a minimal mask like that, like if my best friend put on one of these and then I saw him in public, I'd be like, yeah, I know, that's obviously my best friend. If I hear his voice, definitely know who it is. So I just feel like, you know, maybe try a little harder. But if it's abandoned, go for it. But isn't any abandoned building, couldn't that technically be an abandoned shooting range? So this guy, he's like, oh God, we're supposed to respect the law, blah, 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 blah. All that shit they teach you in the academy that don't mean dick on these Bloodhaven streets. So, of course, somebody calls him on his horse crap. How would a Milwaukeean say that? Horse? No, what is that? What is that accent? But we see here, it's like, oh my God, there's a Nightwing here and a Nightwing here. I honestly, I cannot tell the fucking difference. Is this like a multiple man situation on here? Because I'm seeing two Nightwings and I know that there's only one. God, this shit is so complicated. But she calls him out for it. She's like, you're a wuss? Yes. And how he's been complaining about how they can't do anything in Bloodhaven because they gotta play by the rules. You put on some spandex, you don't have to play by the rules. I would argue that once a person decides to start rocking some spandex, they've just thrown the rule book right out the goddamn window. Because I feel like wearing some spandex is a cry for help. So Colleen here, which is very, I would say, like, if you ask me if we talk about like most badass females in history, I feel like there aren't a lot named Colleen. So maybe she's trying to tip the scales here, but I just feel like Colleen's trying to sell me some like multi-level marketing shit. She's not out here cracking skulls. But this one, she's trying to change things. So she's headed out, and he's like, fuck, I can't have my sister out there and me be here just like looking like this with my shin guards and stuff. So I stared at this thing for 3 weeks. That bracelet. So we see Nightwing. Now, like, the art goes back and forth in quality. Like, look at that. What? I could draw this shit. But these look better. There are multiple artists on this. It shifts back and forth, so you just gotta take it. Just fucking take it. Lube up and take it. So we see here, our boy here, Rick. He, okay, my real question here is, how the fuck, okay, like, he got a bullet grazing. It was a graze, as far as I know. It was a graze. I don't know if it actually penetrated his skull, but even if it did, what, if it's just a graze, motherfucker, you did not forget how to walk. I feel like anytime, in any sort of medium, when somebody gets, like, a bullet near their head, they all just forget how to fucking walk. And then maybe he's just taking advantage of the situation here, because you know Bruce is, like, bankrolling this. What if Dick Grayson was like, look, I never really got a whole handle on that walking thing. Flipping around, got it. Walking, it's a struggle. And Rick realized that, like, oh man, I don't know how to fucking walk properly. So I'm gonna get this shit right here. It's just like, and if you're a doctor watching this, which there's no fucking goddamn way in hell, not even a nurse is watching this, but I feel like if you're a doctor, like if I was a doctor, I would just automatically tell people who've experienced some sort of trauma that they'll never walk again. Like, even if they just got their arm chopped off, I feel like a lot of doctors are like, yeah, you'll never walk again. And they just say that to, like, push people to learn. Like, if someone gets in, like, their leg fucked up, doctors are like, oh yeah, you'll never walk again. And I don't know what it is, because I've seen so many documentaries where somebody gets something, and it doesn't seem like it'd be a debilitating, like a paralyzing injury, and then they're always like, the doctor told me I'd never walk again. It's like, is there just like a whole fucking club of doctors who are just like, yeah, just tell people they'll never fucking walk again, just because, like, fuck it, I'm a doctor. Like, it's fucking crazy. So we see here, he's struggling here, this guy, wow, this guy's just a fucking ghost is helping this guy walk. And he sees, like, you know, Barbara here is helping him, but it's weird, because, like, he's like, I don't know who she fucking is. I'm not going to pretend to be someone I'm not. I think a lot of people were disappointed in me. And this is where the two stories of this arc here finally cross. Because we've been seeing this guy here, Crane, Scarecrow, I believe it's Crane, he calls him Dr. Gruaday, which is a fake fucking name. It's a total alias. I don't know if it's like, if I rearrange the letters of this, it'll spell out Crane somehow, even though there's no C. But he has to take it's mandatory. I don't know. I feel like that's fake. Like, if he was a cop, definitely. But he's just some guy. It's just, you know. So, but he's talking to him about, like, this is all good stuff. But he's like, for example, strong emotions can cause a person to act in an entirely different manner. Rage, loneliness, joy, the struggle with these fear. Like, this guy right here, every time he mentions fear, he leans forward. And I just want you to say, if you're having a conversation with someone and they're, like, really pressing some issue and they start leaning forward, they're probably a villain or they got some sick shit. Like, this guy, I swear, every time he talks about fear, he leans forward and it's dangerous. Alright. So he praises him a little bit about, you know, like, most people are afraid of fear. Can you believe that? Yeah. So then we finally cut back to, oh no, I forgot. This is some good quality shit here. So he's walking around. He's sort of like, look, I don't want to be Nightwing. This guy, I mean, he looks like me, and that's like 50% of the job is just having that haircut and that build. He's like, look, if he wants to moonlight as Nightwing, that's fine. These heroes, Batman, Batgirl, will possess someone to dress up and risk their lives for a stranger. Yeah, I'm the one in therapy. And then you see this fucking art decline here. But this is really getting at the heart of the arc here. Heart of the arc. Heart of the arc of the Covenant. So this is really great because it's talking about the free will. Like, Nightwing, Dick Grayson, his life was forever changed by Bruce Wayne coming in and being like, setting things in motion for him to be Robin. Would he have ever gotten to this point if Bruce never intervened in his life? Yeah, because his parents were still murdered. So what if... So you have to take that into account, but what if his parents were never murdered? He definitely wouldn't have been this. He'd probably be like super even fucking better at trapeze, because that'd be his sole focus. Or it would be like a downward spiral where people are like, yeah, I don't give a shit about trapeze. and then he becomes a villain or something. I'm just saying, like, the free will aspect of this is fantastic. Just, like, the whole thing about, like, his identity, would he have ever been this, blah, 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 all these sort of circumstances led him to become this, and then now he has another shot. It's just great. I'm super into it. But then we finally get to that Nightwing. He's yelling freeze. Let me ask you something. When's the last time you ever said freeze? Only 2 people say freeze. Mr. Freeze, cops. Straight up. You're like, Lindsay, I say freeze all the time. Not talking about freezing. Everybody uses that shit. Freeze, just freeze. Maybe if you're talking about food, but nobody else, like, you're fucking telling, you're advertising right here that you're a fucking cop, because you're certainly not Mr. Freeze. I'm just saying, work a little bit harder on this. I feel like they're not trying with the secret identity thing. So this guy's like, to hell with you. I shouldn't be surprised. Thugs really freeze when I say it, holding my badge. Yeah, obviously. And then we finally get this guy right here with this fucking axe, which I gotta tell you, bring an axe to a Nightwing fight. Don't do punches, do choppies. I want to see limbs on the fucking ground. So, apparently this guy, he was going to be a cop, but they railroaded him out of the academy. I don't know what that means, but this guy is a firefighter of some sort, but he makes mention that the pay is pretty shitty. Now they're surrounded by cash, but this guy right here is like, nah man, it's evidence. Now, look, I gotta tell you, you can be a hero, but don't be a fucking chump. You gotta take this fucking cash. You gotta take it for your injuries. You gotta take it for your pain and suffering. I'm just saying, like, you can't take a single 100 off of this. Because people will be like, oh, it's a stack of $900? That shit doesn't make any sense. But you can steal a whole stack and nobody would be the wiser because crime doesn't have set amounts or whatever. But the stacks do. So I'm just saying, if you become a vigilante, you can take a stack and nobody will know. Don't be a fucking chump. So, there are a couple more scenes here where Rick is talking to Scarecrow. It's pretty great. It's solid writing. More head shrinking, if you will. It's good. It's solid. Super solid. And then he sees this right here where there's a like crime scene tape here, which is always, alarming. And he's like, look, several people were injured. Something to group psychosis, which, oh god. It was a unique, almost glorious rejection of fear. See that? He leaned in. One of several reported incidents, I believe perhaps something is in the air in Bloodhaven. This guy. He's always talking about fear. Should he be sponsored by the brand No Fear? Or wait, should Green Lantern be sponsored by... Green Lantern should be sponsored by No Fear. He needs to get that clothing deal right up. And then we see this fucking evil shadow turn around. If you're skeptical about someone's morality, just look at their shadow. And if you see their shadow with any sort of hat, it doesn't have to look evil, but if their hat has a shadow and they do not, get the fuck out of there. I was going to say room, but it's probably more likely that you're outside 5 o'clock. I'm just saying, beware of shadows with hats. And shit. There's some more stuff with the Nightwings. The kid one is not that great at it, you know what I'm saying? And, fuck, did I miss something? No. Okay, so we're good. And there's some more stuff with the girl, he was the bartender. And then we see this Aquaman advertisement. I gotta ask, like, what the fuck? Willem Dafoe is an Aquaman? I have not been keeping up. Fucking Nicole Kidman is an Aquaman? What is going on? That shit doesn't make any sense to me. I've literally been staying away from this because I know it's gonna be disappointing on probably... Dolph Lundgren? Is that fucking... Oh my god, what the fuck's going on with that movie? Fucking weird. We see this Nightwing and he's dealing with those goddamn Shaolin skaters of Bloodhaven. They're a nuisance. They have these old school boards. They don't do a lot of tricks. They're doing hand-assisted ollies. They don't know how to grind. They can't kickflip properly. They gotta be taken down. They gotta be fucking destroyed. They probably had those little rails on them, on the board to help with grinding, but they don't grind. They don't grind at all. These are like freestyle skaters, and the only good freestyle skater was Rodney Mullen, and he killed the fucking game. He killed that entire genre of skateboarding. You gotta take him down. Because it's about tricks. It's about grinding. It's about air, not this, whatever this. This guy looks like a fucking Ninja Gaiden enemy. It's disappointing to ninja culture and skate culture. You gotta take him down. And there's this huge helicopter here, and everyone's like, hell yeah, Nightwings. Or singular Nightwing. It's probably going to be confusing when there's like, oh, there's also a woman. We get some more head shrinking stuff. Those scenes, I'm skipping over them because they're good, but it's just talking. So whatever. And then he gives him a cupcake here because he's like, look, we're done here. He mentions the little boy with no fear, which of course is the same guy. So he tells him, happy birthday, Rick Grayson. You're officially discharged with a clean bill of mental health. And he gives him a cupcake. Do not eat the fucking cupcake. 10 times out of 10, not 9, 10 times out of 10. Someone gives you a confectionery treat, a dessert, something that is sugar-based, it's fucking poison. Look, nobody wants to bring up about the fact that the Girl Scouts are fucking mass murderers. And you know, like anytime you're at a party, and you got some cake, and you're like, I don't really want cake. Everybody zooms in on you, and they're like, fucking eat some cake. What the fuck is your problem? They want to poison you. Straight up. Girl Scouts, they're fucking murderers. Let's get that going out there. Let's get that circulating because, like, okay, of course I'm being fucking ridiculous, but let's be honest, like, motherfuckers be dying of a lot of obesity-related illnesses, and you know, they had a lot of fucking Samoas, a lot of fucking, I don't know, just what other types of Girl Scout cookies are there? Samoas, fucking Thin Mints. Thin Mints have definitely, Thin Mints have a high body count. So we get some more stuff with the bartender girl, and we get some more stuff with Crane, who is revealed to be even more psychotic than usual. This shit's good. Milwaukee sucks. Girl Scouts are one of the most prolific serial killing groups of all time.